Niggles. We all have them. We all have different ways of dealing with them. And in today's video, I want to share a different way to look at your niggles and to listen to them that will hopefully help you reduce worse pain events later down the line and give you a new conversation or way to relate and interact with your body. If you're coming back to the channel, welcome back. If you're new, hi, nice to meet you. My name's Catherine. I'm the founder and principal therapist at LSM Clinic, and we help people get to the bottom of their aches and pains to enjoy their lives and enjoy their favorite activities as close to pain-free as possible. So niggles. What is a niggle? A niggle is usually something that it's a little ache or a pain, it's a little bit of discomfort or something not feeling right, but it's not interrupting your day. It's not making it impossible to do a thing. Niggles often do grow into bigger problems, which is one of the things that we'll be talking about. But for the most part, if you have a niggle, you can adjust and keep going. So for example, for a runner, a niggle might be a bit of knee pain or their Achilles feeling off when they start a run, but then they warm up out of it so they can keep running. For someone sitting at a desk, it might be that the tops of the shoulders get a bit achy at the end of the day, or you notice that it's a bit harder to turn your head to one side because of like tension or restriction or pain. But you can work around it. You can sometimes just like rub it a bit and it goes away, at least temporarily. It might be that you feel a bit of pain in your lower back. Now, I'm going to talk about niggles today and how you can listen to them when you're interacting with your body. And there is one important caveat here, which is if you're living with chronic pain, if you have a chronic illness or condition where it is unavoidable to have those pains, this might not apply to you as much. There will be still some things that are important to take away, but I just want to acknowledge that while pain-free is an option for many, many people, if you're a person who's struggling with chronic illness or a chronic condition that comes with a lot of pain, it might not be something possible for you. And I didn't want to forget about you. I didn't want to forget about you in this conversation. So let's talk about what most people do with their niggles, right? So most people, you get a little bit achy, a little bit tired, a little bit of a like, oh, my wrist felt weird today. That was painful. And most of us ignore it or find a workaround. So somebody with knee pain on a run might notice it's not like warming up so much, so they put a support on their knee or a knee brace. Somebody who is having like a neck pain, instead of maybe doing something about it, they might start rotating with their body instead of their neck. Or it's so low level that they just ignore it, maybe take a couple of painkillers, and then fine after a week or two, it goes away. Problem solved, right? Not exactly. So almost all of the time, when you have a niggle, small pain that is ignorable but present, it is your body communicating to you that there is something going on in that space. It may be, in the case of the knee, that the quads or the IT band are tight and overworking and creating compression in the knee. It might be that your posture at your desk isn't great, so your head's forward and you're creating a strain in the top of the shoulders. With your lower back, it could be that your lower abdominals aren't supporting you or that your hip flexors are tight. Or a combination. A lot of these things have multiple causes that are all feeding in and kind of creating a nexus where there's some discomfort. And the reason that we ignore it is often, one, we have lots more urgent things in our life that we have to take care of. So it's hard to make time for those niggles. And two, we don't really know what causes them, right? We think, oh, there's something wrong, but it's gone away last time, so I can ignore it this time and it'll go away again. What often happens is by the time someone comes into us, they've had a pain on and off for years, but this time it just hasn't gone away. And that means that we're working with 5, 6, 10, 15 years of tension in a muscle that will take much longer to get rid of all that tension and rebalance everything because of how long those niggles have been ignored. So the first thing I want to say is, like, if you have a niggle, if you can, try not to ignore it. And this will go for some people with chronic pain too, because, often we have a myriad of symptoms with chronic pain, and some of the niggles are things that are actually addressable. And you don't always know that until you investigate, right? You might investigate and go, oh, well, actually, this knee pain is your glutes aren't firing properly, and we can work on that. Whereas for someone else, the pain might be a symptom of fibromyalgia that isn't muscle-based, and we can't do much about it. Like, at least from a massage therapy perspective, there might be other practitioners who can help with that. So if you try to address it and do something about it, that's the best thing, right? And the next step to that is, once you can either find some resources that help you, like we have a ton of resources on our website. We have a runner's resources page, a desk worker / working from home resource page. We have a free foam rolling workshop. We have a free desk worker, like desk posture workshop. We have a beautiful paid course for neck and shoulder pain to help you with like everything relating to your upper body when you're sitting at a desk. And we have a ton of resources on our YouTube channel. And hopefully that can help you get to the bottom of things, or of course, come in and see us and we can do an assessment and figure out what's going on. So that's kind of the first step with the niggles. Try and get to the bottom of it, figure it out. And just because you get to the bottom of it and figure it out doesn't mean that you're going to be good forever. Often niggles will come up again. And this is the second thing about a niggle. Your niggles are your body telling you there's something going on. And so instead of ignoring it, once you learn what a niggle means, once you figure out, oh, this means this, then you can do something about it. Now, I tell this story often to my clients as an example of listening to niggles. I sporadically go jogging. Not often. I'm not a big runner, but every once in a while I go through a little running kick and I just do some. And it's not a lot, trust me. And I will always do a warm up with ankle circles and active movements and glute activation, right? Because I know that if I don't do glute activation, I'll injure the inside of my lower left leg. I'll get pain in my right arch. My knees will complain. Like, it's just a thing, right? And I've noticed that sometimes my glute activation takes like that. I do it like once or twice and I'm good and I don't feel any problems in my legs and I'm happy. And then I notice other times it takes longer. And the way that I notice that it takes longer is I do my normal glute activation and then I jog and my knee hurts or my shin hurts or I'm getting a pain in the arch of my foot. Like, I know my own tells from my body. And that is my body saying, Catherine, you have not activated your stability in your pelvis enough and we're having to overwork on your behalf. And so then I can stop and do the glute activation again. And then I keep doing it until those niggles go. And once those niggles are gone, I can be like, okay, I finally activated my glutes. Because it's not easy every time. Some days it's very quick and other days it takes ages. And the only way that you're going to know how effective you are is if you know your own body's tells and the, the messages that they send you. Another good example, and you see, I have a lot of like runner and desk work examples because that's like a lot of who we work with, is if you notice that at the end of the day, you're getting some tightness and tiredness on the top of the shoulders, and that might be for you, that means that you've been breathing with your neck muscles that pulls your head forward. So you need to do deep abdominal breathing. And that if you do the abdominal breathing, that helps to make it easier to put your head over your shoulders. But for someone else, it might be that your chest is too tight or your lats are too tight. So going and doing like a 30-second wall stretch is going to help take some of that pressure off. And then obviously you can always come in for a massage and we can work on things for you. But by learning to listen to your niggles in real time and understanding, okay, so if I feel this, this is what I need to do, then you're going to be much better equipped to be targeted in your own self-care instead of feeling like you have to do everything. And it's one of the reasons that we test in a session, because we want to get really targeted on your niggles as well. One example that springs to mind is a client who had a persistent Achilles pain when they were running, and it didn't happen all the time, but sometimes it would just kind of start to get a little bit more insistent as they're getting closer to their maintenance session. And so the first time they came in with it, I was like, okay, piriformis is very often linked to Achilles, so let's just test that. So I got them on the table, I released the piriformis, and I got them up, and the sensitivity that was in their Achilles was gone. So now I could tell them, okay, when you're after a run or in your regular self-care, do more piriformis stretching. That's going to help take pressure off your Achilles. And of course, the glute activation to reduce the piriformis getting tight. And they did that, and the Achilles went away. And then when it came back, they did the piriformis release, and it went away again. Right? So if you can learn the language of your niggles, then you can be in a better position to take care of yourself in less time, because you know this problem, this solution, right? Instead of like 10 exercises that you have to try to do to hopefully get the source of your problem. So I'd love to know, do you have any niggles? Do you know what they're caused or what causes them? If you don't, you're obviously welcome to come in for a session with us, and we can do an assessment and do some releases and see what the relationship are between things. I'll put the link to book a session below if you're interested and you're in London. Otherwise, you can let me know what your niggle is in the comment, and I can, if we already have a video that talks about that, I will link the video for you so you can learn a little bit more about it and try some things. I'll also put the neck and shoulder pain course and the link to the runners and the desk worker resource pages for you so you can get more information on anything that will help you. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. And if you could like it so more people can see it, and subscribe if you'd like to get more videos from us. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Okay, see you in the next video.